Does anyone have a question they'd like to ask?
I have a question.
Yes,
Is the chakra system something that um, um, do we start over with a new chakra system every time we're born?
do we start over with a new chakra system every time we meditate?
Or no, every time we're born, every lifetime.
Uh, the purpose of this life is to develop yourself and to accumulate within yourself knowledge of infinite energy in the universe. It's to transform all the suffering inside you into a positive energy. In doing that, you develop a chakra system that's very strong. And if you have to reincarnate, you bring that level of consciousness with you. You bring what you have learned in this, what you have not learned. If you go through this lifetime like an imbecile, then you bring that with you in the next lifetime. So it just depends upon the depth of how deeply you go inside yourself and what you do to build a strong chakra system. If you develop a strong chakra, I mean, for God only knows, you could be reborn as a saint in your next lifetime. Highly evolved person who comes back to the earth in order to teach, to help other people evolve and grow. You know, the, I mean, otherwise, what is the point of all this work? Most people, it takes many lifetimes to become spiritually enlightened. And if you spend a lifetime doing this kind of profound inner work, you can get your enlightenment in this lifetime, or you can go into the next lifetime really ahead of the game. So no, we don't start over in every lifetime. We start at a place that we left off, depending upon, look, how many people do deep spiritual work on the earth? Not very many. So when people undergo this whole thing of reincarnation, they bring with them exactly what they were in the last lifetime. And then they again are given an opportunity to develop a chakra system that will link them directly to God and get them closer and closer to a state of spiritual enlightenment, samadhi, freedom. I mean, you can make $1 trillion in this lifetime and come back as a pauper in the next life. Just depends entirely how much you have treated, you know, life in this particular incarnation. You turn out to be an autocrat, a dictator, a crazy person. You understand? You come back, maybe in the next lifetime, you're a mosquito. And if you do your inner work and build the chakra system, it really doesn't matter how rich or poor you are. Being rich or poor is just karma that you have to work out. And how do you work it out? Not by making more money or doing, yeah, it helps and it makes life a little better. But how do you really work it out? By learning to live here with an open heart, learning how to build a system inside that's full of compassion and full of patience and love, and how to develop the highest levels of your own humanity. That's how you work it out, not by the accumulation of more Maya, illusion. I once had a guy who was kind of a friend of mine, he used to be a client of mine, and he used to teach Tai Chi. And he was pretty well known for it. And, he used to give me massages and very good. He was very good at that. And I would go, to get massage from it. And in the middle of one of his massages, he had his elbow, my rib or something, and moving bones. And I mean, it was something. He said to me, "How much money does a person need to be happy in a lifetime?" I mean, it reaches a certain level of money where the only thing you can do with it is make more money. It's not going to make your life any better. There's just that limit. You have a house, you have a car, you have a wife, a husband, you have, a nice wardrobe. There's just a limit. And after that, there's only one thing you can do with it is make more money. So rich or poor is not the answer to the equation. Although most people seem to think that it is. An open heart is the answer to the equation. Living, you know, with compassion, with kindness. The Dalai Lama always talks about being kind, having compassion for the sufferings of people. I hope that's clear, because it's really important because we beat ourselves up over illusion. We don't have enough of illusion. When within us we have everything to make life extraordinary. And when you open the chakra system, you develop the chakra system, it will attract to you exactly what you need to work out your karma. If you need to be filthy rich, it'll bring it so that you can learn to surrender it. And I know a bit about this because when I was in my business, I used to deal with very wealthy people. And, poor people don't buy art. And I never met one of them that was happy. There was the greed for the next piece they could have in their collection or the next piece of power. And there was never joy. There was never that twinkle of God in their eyes, that simplicity, that love, that innocence, that caring about other people. Very rarely met anybody like that. I'm not saying people shouldn't have money. They should have money because money buys for them, a decent life here. But what they shouldn't have is greed. You shouldn't have this thing that will step over anybody else just to make money. Does anyone else have a question? So to answer your question, look, what determines how you live in this lifetime is how developed your chakra system is. What determines how you live in your next lifetime is how developed your chakra system is. Understand? It's what you bring with you across the void through that, the place that I forget what they call it, that place in the cosmos where you go to get prepared for your next lifetime. In Tibetan Buddhism, the Bardo realm. And you bring with you, I've told this story before. There was a student of mine who had AIDS, and he was very, very sick to the point where it was just intense suffering every single day. And I remember going to visit him in the hospital, and he was lying in bed and he had scabs all over his body, and he was just a mess. And I said to him, I just said to him very quietly, why are you holding on? Let go. You're going to bring into the next lifetime. First of all, you're going to be born as a very sweet little baby that everybody's going to love. You're going to bring with you everything you have learned about spiritual practice in this lifetime. And he looked at me and he just whispered, thank you. And the next day he left. And that thank you really enabled him to bring with him everything that he had learned about inner work and growth in this lifetime into his next lifetime. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, then thank you. God bless you all. And there'll be meditation tomorrow at 1 o'clock my time, and then 7:30. And looking forward to seeing you. Have a wonderful evening. And as I say all the time, thanks. Your presence has really demanded of me to work in a kind of depth that I didn't even know I could work at. And I have nothing but gratitude for people that attend these classes. God bless you all. And hoping to see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
You're-
Thank you, Stuart.